All right. How you doing? Salty Boomer here, and there's been some updates. I made a video a few days ago about this FEMA supervisor who sent out a text to other FEMA workers about implementing best practices. And one of the best practices was avoid homes advertising Trump, which, as you may imagine, sent off a firestorm of controversy because what is FEMA doing avoiding homes advertising Trump? Well, there's been some developments. And let's hear from Marnie Washington herself talking about what FEMA actually does in these situations.
Stating that I was fired. They all alleged that these actions were made on my own recognizances and that it was for my own political advances. However, if you look at the record, there is what we call a community trend. And unfortunately, it just so happened that the political hostility that was encountered by my team, and I was on two different teams during this deployment, they just so happened to have the Trump campaign signage. FEMA always preaches avoidance first and then de-escalation.
FEMA always pledges. What did she say? I got to hear that again. Hold on.
Happened to have the Trump campaign signage. FEMA always preaches avoidance first and then de-escalation.
Preaches avoidance first and then de-escalation, not pledges. So FEMA preaches avoidance first, meaning if you have a Trump sign, they're going to avoid you. That is beyond comprehension for a government agency to behave like that.
So this is not isolated. This is a colossal event of avoidance, not just in the state of Florida, but you will find avoidance in the Carolinas.
Not an isolated incident. Right out of a FEMA supervisor's mouth.
Senior leadership will lie to you and tell you that they do not know. But if you ask the DSA crew leads and specialists what they are experiencing in the field, they will tell you. Demand for FEMA to give you those incident reports.
That is unbelievable, what she just confessed. There's no longer any doubt about it. FEMA is a corrupt agency. They need to be torn down and start over. And I'm hoping with this new administration, that's exactly what happens. Well, Florida is pissed off about it too. And their attorney general is opening an investigation into this corruption.
We're not going to leave it up to the federal government to do their own investigation. So this past weekend, Florida has already begun digging into this. We want to make sure that our emergency agency is looking into these details to making sure we have all of the information. We're seeking not only information from FEMA, but making sure if there are those within Florida who feel that they were overlooked or discriminated against because of their political views, that we have an understanding of that and that information. Because look, this is what folks have been saying all along, that this administration wasn't here to serve everyone, only a few. And so as we dig in, I think we're going to find that this, in fact, did happen. We're already seeing it in some of the reports and the databases. And
well, we have it right from the FEMA supervisor's mouth that they absolutely are doing this. And I'm glad she's not relying on the federal government to do the investigation. Florida's doing their own investigation. And I would imagine there's going to be many lawsuits of this, hopefully burying FEMA to where they have to be dismantled completely, and matter of fact, abolished. And then we start something new, because they did the same thing in Maui. Same thing in Maui. $700 to people who lost their entire lives, their homes gone, everything. And then kept supplies. They didn't help get supplies to those people in Lahaina and Maui. They kept the supplies locked up that weren't approved by FEMA. Just an incredibly corrupt organization that needs to be dismantled. Let's continue.
And we'll follow up accordingly.
Are you confident that going forward, FEMA will change the course and make?
No, well, let's see. What was that? Let's read that tweet here from Deanne Criswell, FEMA. Oh, this is the head of FEMA. This is a clear violation of FEMA's core values and principles to help people regardless of their political affiliation. This employee has been terminated, and we have referred the matter to the Office of Special Counsel. I will continue to do everything I can to make sure this never happens again. Right. Those orders come from her. Make no mistake about this. That woman, Marnie, that they fired is just a patsy.
Forward, FEMA will change the course and make sure it wasn't just one employee with this bad intention?
It doesn't matter if I'm confident. What matters is if the people of the United States of America are confident. And more, we're seeing these agencies under Biden and Harris say, there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. Of course that doesn't happen. We're following our mission. And time again, we've seen them off mission, distracted, pushing funds into areas that should never have been envisioned when the agencies were created. And so I think the American people have lost a sense of trust in their institutions. Remember, whether it's DHS, Secret Service, FBI, DOJ, FEMA, these are people's institution. We the people gave the government their power. Right. We the people fund the government. It's our institutions. Right. And the further and further they get away from telling us the truth, doing their jobs, being accountable to their bosses, which are the people, there is a decimation of trust, and that cannot be in the United States of America, and that's what we're here to drill down on. We're not going to leave.
Perfect, because it is all about we the people, and that power needs to be put back into we the people. All right, we'll see you next time. Salty Boomer, out.